I am the middle manager. I'm not senior enough to make decisions, but I'm senior enough to take the blame for them. My job is to take information from one meeting and repeat it in another meeting. I'm literally a human email. When the executive team asks me to jump, I ask how high, and then I schedule a meeting with you and tell you to jump. I'm the layer of the company that exists so executives don't have to talk to people who actually do work.
I like that guy.
I mean, there's some truth in what he's saying, and that like a big part of the job is distilling down the information in the higher up down to the people who are working. But in a functional organization, you should also be bringing the information from the people who are working underneath you back up for decision making.
Yeah.
And yes, I can see how middle manager can sometimes feel like a puppet.
Yeah.
But oftentimes the higher up are so busy.
That's right.
That we see very often middle managers who don't have any trouble breaking out on their own and doing what they think is right.
Yeah.
And they don't ask for permission. They do it. And as long as it's within they're trying to do the best interests of the organization, they do it. And if it's not right, somebody will get back to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we talk about the sacred glue of organizations is the manager and the direct report. And so I get what this person's saying.
I do too.
I understand how it could feel like that. Yeah. But basically, the people he's talking to, he should be the most important person in the company to them. And so there's something there. And like you said, he's the conduit to the higher level up. They take a bunch of crap. But we see that higher level, and the demands on their time, as you said, are just punishing.
They're punishing, and also we've talked about this, probably not on this podcast, but like the asymmetry of leadership, where you know more about the organization as a whole and the environment, but you know less and less about the actual work because you do get removed with these middle managers. Yeah. And so it's actually a pretty vital role that they're informing the people who are above them as to what is actually going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the reasons that TV show Undercover Boss is so popular, I think, is because you'll get bosses and it's not because they're clueless, but when they go and they actually do some of the lower level work for a day or
they get to experience. I mean, it's different to experience the work.
Yeah, totally. Okay, good.
Today we're launching the world's first vote to end this meeting button on Microsoft Teams. Let's say Debbie, the organizer, starts talking in the meeting like it's her own podcast. You simply press vote to end this meeting button and a live poll will be displayed right in the middle of the screen, informing everyone to vote in the next 30 seconds. And as more and more people continue to press that button, the results bar continues to expand in real time. And the moment it reaches 50% of the meeting audience, something incredible happens. It not only ends the meetings for all participants, but bans Debbie from organizing another meeting for the next 48 hours. So now you can go back to your desks and listen to music about heartbreaks, gangs, and countryside roads instead of Debbie's podcast. Thank you very much.
What could go wrong?
We do this all the time. We constantly have people vote about the meetings they should have. It's a regular part of, so we're for it. I mean,
I think that one could, he was insinuating that they would vote for it just so they could go back listening to their music.
I know, but...
So, I mean, there's definitely a dark side to a button being on the screen that nobody gets any work done. But the idea that meetings should actually be useful and shouldn't be Debbie's personal podcast.
Yeah, meetings take a lot of crap, but if you're old enough to remember COVID, I will point out how indispensable being together.
Not only that, we get all the time people who, employees who are upset and ride the CEO out on rails, so to speak, because they're not having meetings.
Yep. Yeah, we're a part of the work we do is we look at all the meetings people are having and we're like, all right, what's your highest priority meetings? Which of these could you combine? Which of these have outlived their usefulness? How many of these need an update to their agenda? And so, it's constant.
And then also it's just good practices.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have this weird paradox of if you give people a choice, they'll often want not to meet because it's just a change and they can do whatever they...
Right. They want control over their schedule. People don't like having the control yanked out from them. I don't blame them for that, but
the flip side of the paradox, the one side of the paradox is you give people unalloyed choice, and they'll choose to not meet as often as they should. But the other side of that is when people aren't together frequently enough. And again, just go back to COVID. It was a natural experiment across this country and many countries. Zoom is okay as a bridge, or if your team is dispersed and you can only bring them together a couple times a year, but nothing beats actually people, especially, or organizations are complex. That's the only reason we have a job. If organizations were simple, we'd be bankrupt. There would be no need to have organizational consultants. And so people in complex organizations doing tricky things together, you got to meet and hash some of this stuff out. And if you're not doing that, not only will the performance suffer, but people won't feel like they're a part of something.
Sure. It's both those things. Plus, if you don't have meetings, people start to feel like you're rejecting them.
Yeah. How come I'm not into this?
Like,
why am I not?
Right. And then they do the opposite. Then they run around and they are trying to find out what's going on in the organization. And then they're deep into then you're expanding the gossip network.
Yep. All right. So I think we're pro.
I think we're pro meetings, but we're also pro doing
cutting
meetings well.
Yeah. Yeah. Pro agendas, pro updating the agendas, pro.
Yeah. Do the meeting well.
Scrambling. Yeah. Scrambling meetings up.
I do not recommend, no matter what level you are.
We had a guy it's been years ago, in the Army, and he was the big boss, and he would use all caps for everything.
We have another one of those.
That we work with?
No, it's not somebody we work with.
You remember the guy we work with at UT?
Oh, yeah.
And when he was so busy leading the Plus program in the MBA school that he would not ever open the email. He would just put it all in the subject line.
I do remember that.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. Yeah, but that was because he was busy. And so I don't want to make an excuse for senior leaders, but that's a large part of who we work with. They are so profoundly busy that email is just one more thing.
Oh, well, and also the whole environment changed with email where historically you couldn't reach these people very easily. They had an administrator
Layers,
who was
gatekeepers.
Yeah, the gatekeeper, and now it's not hard to find a CEO's contact information.
Yeah.
You take a good guess.
Yeah, I think I understand why they cut corners with their emails. You just got to be careful not putting dumb stuff in the emails. But besides that, punctuation, all caps, all that business, it's probably because they're busy.
Yeah, I still don't agree with it. I think
Yeah, now you can use ChatGPT.
You are saying basically to people that I'm not going to take the time. Like, you're not important. This message is not important enough. I'm not going to take the time to
All right, AI.
do the most basic
I say
things.
AI.
Right. That's fine. You can do AI. That's
AI.
fine. But
to write your emails.
You're making a mistake professionally if you're not using
So you like it to be dear so-and-so.
No, I'll say hi or hello, but I'm going to use commas and punctuation and try to get the words right.
All right. She's for it.
I'm for it.
What else we got?
But my hope will
Got it. This one. So the basic gist, if you're not watching on the YouTube, is employees real excited for the holiday bonus, and it turns out it's pizza and like a $5
I'm very
gift card.
offended that pizza has become
right.
the
Why
beat
is
up
that?
boy
Yeah.
of work, because
love
pizza is
pizza.
the most elegant food in the world.
We love pizza.
We travel for pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reminded of, it's been years ago, but our joint mentor, the only person who was on both of our dissertations, was John Daly at University of Texas. He was my internal and your external person. And he taught me many years ago the ironclad law of hedonic asymmetry, which sounds like a heavy metal band. It sounds like a death metal band, but
A hair band.
A hair band. those people who do the Christmas carols. You know the Christmas Carol people?
The Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does sound like them.
That's right. Like, who thought that would be a good idea? Crossing crossing Silent Night with
it's
Metallica.
been highly successful. That's what we call a blue ocean.
Is that a blue ocean?
That is a blue ocean. You're crossing two popular things and creating something new.
Oh, yeah. I give you that. So back to the ironclad law of hedonic asymmetry. Basically, rewards given consistently over time cease to become rewards, and their absence constitutes punishment. And so we tell our clients, never give a holiday bonus, because the first year people, if you give it in December, the first year people are happy. The second year, they're looking for it starting in October. And then the third or fourth year, when you don't give it, they think that the company's about to go bankrupt. And so it becomes an expectation as soon as it gets scheduled and the reward is known. Every December we get this. And so we tell them instead, if you're going to give a bonus, give it at completely random times during the year, or have it follow something that people have done. But if you start giving holiday bonuses
that aren't tied to anything,
that's just tied to the calendar,
right,
then absolutely expect the impact of those to be less and less like a reward and more like an entitlement.
Right.
People count on it and they adjust their spending to account for it. And meanwhile, within just a few years, you actually can't not give that.
Right. Or if you don't give it, it's a punishment.
Right. Just like they said in this clip.
Right.
I was looking for my money. This is how we were going to go on a trip. And now I got a piece of pizza and a company water bottle.
Okay. I think that covers it.
All right. Next.
Mary, the drinking that fever, and it, here you go, fever. You're drinking the juice.
Is that a chicken?
I think it's a chicken drinking AI. I think a lot of the AI adoption I see are the employees using it.
I do too. I think that the bosses kind of get a burn. They have a little heartburn when they feel like they're paying for somebody to do something and they're AIing it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't agree with that either, because if they're getting rid of the things, if they're producing something that's better because they have a second set of eyes on it, or if they're getting rid of things that are like on the lower end of the job and then freeing up their time to do like more important things, then I'm for it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I don't see organizations shoving it down their throat.
No.
Maybe it's the organizations we're in.
I think there's a lot of excitement about it, but that I haven't seen a ton of disruption. Now, admittedly, we do a lot of, healthcare. We do a lot of first responder. And so there's maybe some immunity to that.
Yeah. And then we do some one-offs too.
Yeah. It's I forget who it was, but somebody years ago, when they were talking about, automation and so forth, and he would just say, "Where are the robots? Show me the robots. Where are the robots?"
They're coming.
We'll see.
They're called drones.
We'll see. I think since ChatGPT a few years ago, that LLM era that we're in now, I think more things absolutely are changing.
Yeah, they are.
But still,
well, we just drove to the airport in a Tesla. And
automated.
It drove itself. It was in Mad Max mode. It was going Mad Max
85 80 in a 55.
And
Tesla.
It was awesome. Yeah,
our nephew calls it a Tesla. It's a Tesla.
And it was perfect. It was changing lanes. It was doing everything. And that is a robot. You are riding inside a robot.
Yeah. All right. So. We'll see. I'll take a robot.